Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates with the fabulous Baker boys, Nolan Baker, Jeremy Baker. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. Just by tuning in and joining us today, you're showing that you're taking an interest in getting more serious about your retirement. The next step, of course, is meeting with a team and putting pen to paper. You can do so by calling 419-794-3030. If you're still debating over whether to actually hire a financial advisor, well, this comes into play. Nolan, as you mentioned, you recently visited Yale, had the opportunity to sit down with Professor William Gettman, and here's what he had to say about it.
Having an advisor that can help you understand what just happened in the market and also think through or show you examples of what happens if we have another hyperinflation like the 1980s. What would your portfolio do? That is really helpful because most people are not finance professors that can talk about equity premiums and so forth. Most people are just trying to understand in practical terms how best to plan given these financial tools that they don't use every day.
Can you think of any other reasons that we can give our listeners and viewers to come in and see you guys for that initial consultation, taking that first step?
Yeah, I think going out to Yale was a great opportunity to meet with, Professor Getzman. I also met with Professor Ibbotson, two extremely well-seasoned professors that have spent their, adult career working on the study of finance, economics, looking at things like behavioral finances and the decisions that investors make, and then tracking the data back really to the shipyards was kind of interesting. And what was interesting is the group had asked Dr. Getzman about working with a financial advisor, and he shared an experience about the financial advisor that him and his mom work with. Here's a guy that is a economics professor, very well known for his background, but still utilizing a financial professional in his family to make sure that they're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And I think the reality is even an economics professor, he knows what he's good at. We all have our strengths, and it never hurts really kind of to get a second opinion on what's out there. One of the things that we can do for you, if you're wondering that question, should I get a financial professional and should I meet with a financial advisor? Obviously, the answer, I would say, as a financial advisor is yes. But I would say that I'm biased. What I would say is that the process that we can take you through is what we refer to as the CFO checklist. We'd be happy, actually, if you call our office, 419-794-3030, and we can get you a copy of the personal CFO checklist. And within this checklist, what we try to focus on is 3 topics. And those 3 topics are how to help you better manage your money, protect your hard-earned assets, and efficiently plan your estate. And within each of those, we ultimately have a total of 25 items that we walk through when we're looking at these areas. And, if you could figure out one area like, how to maybe optimize your Social Security and get more benefits and more survivor protection, it could be extremely beneficial to spend 45 minutes or an hour to know about what that looks like. Understanding how to avoid big penalties for, failure to sign up for Medicare at the correct age or missing a required minimum distribution, or to most recently, like what we've been talking about, which is like the tax savers checklist and knowing, are there specific steps that you can take in your family situation minimize the taxes that you pay this year, in the future, and then ultimately if a legacy that you leave on. When we look at then the estate planning, we're not attorneys, but these areas, they kind of overlap each other. So, you might have a will or a trust even. You might think, my estate plans are updated, but oftentimes what people don't realize is that what you have listed on what is called a named beneficiary, like your life insurance policy or your 401k or your IRA, those assets traditionally don't pass through your will and your trust. Normally, they go to who you name as your beneficiary. And so, some people think, well, I've got it all taken care of. But if those 2 items, they don't match up together, watch out, because it could create not only wasted taxes, wasted probate fees and expenses, could create a big headache for your family. And I think the advantage of meeting with us is we take that comprehensive approach of helping you make an informed decision that says, if I make a choice on withdrawals from my IRA, how is that going to impact my Medicare or affordable health care costs? What are the steps that I need to take on the checklist to make sure that I'm reviewing how to maximize how to get the assets to my loved ones beyond, maybe my spouse? These are all of the areas that I would say, yes, I'm absolutely biased that it's worth time to get a second opinion. Worst case scenario, Jeremy, we say everything looks good and you're in good shape, right?
Sure. I think there's, even just an initial consultation probably takes an hour in our office. And, looking at all the clients over the years, all the financial plans written, you mentioned Social Security optimization. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that is in that decision. Mm-hmm. And saving in taxes. A lot of people come in saying, God, I wish I would have met you guys 10 years ago. Or there might be a mistake with a beneficiary where mom forgot to put both kids on there. And now, one kid is inheriting the money and trying to split it up. And how's the easiest way to do that? Well, a lot of times stuff like this isn't easy. I'm biased too. I am a financial advisor and I actually have a financial advisor as well. So I think essentially for us, just spending that hour answering questions and just helping people make informed decisions, I think is a big key.
You touched on something there, Jeremy, that I want to focus on. You said you have a financial advisor yourself. You don't handle your own situation because, as we've said so many times here on the show, it is difficult to manage your own money when you've got that emotion that creeps into play. So, experience, I think, is a great way to put on it because the goal for everyone out there listening, I think, is to retire once and stay retired. Why not turn to a team that has, decades of experience helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement and let them use the strategies and tips and tricks and figure out what's going to work best for you? It all starts with that phone call to the team, 419-794-3030. You can also schedule time as well online, arhq.com. And I just want to reiterate really quick, a lot of events coming up in the next couple of weeks, this month alone. You can find out more about those, including how to reserve your seat by clicking on the events tab at arhq.com.